Now, obviously, I don't know if you want to talk about it because you're good friends with Jeff. You were there for the entire Kurt Angle, Karen divorcing Kurt and going to Jeff. What are your thoughts on the whole situation, and how did it come about? And obviously, Jeff lost power and over the situation.
So what exactly is the question?
What are your thoughts on the whole entire situation? Was it hard to work in that environment, being Jeff's friend? And
yeah, it was very, 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 very hard and very difficult. But if I mean, I don't want to comment in on too much because it really is personal. But at the end of the day, kind of like if two people are really in love with each other, and not for anything, they did wind up getting married and they are living happily ever after. If two people are really in love with each other, there's really not too much you can do. I don't think Jeff planned for it. I don't think Karen planned for it. I don't think Kurt planned for it. I think Jeff and Karen fell in love. And like I said, look at the relationship now. So yeah, man, it was bad for everybody all around. But at the end of the day, if you had two grown people that were in love, what are you going to do,
Was there a lot of tension between Jeff and Kurt?
At times there were. Yeah, there was.
A lot of people ask how Jeff could be sent home from pretty much his own company when he started the company. How do you answer that?
See, again, man, I don't want to feel like I'm copping out on you, Rob, because I'm not. But you got to understand, man, I just tried to stay as far away from those things as I could. I really did. And like I said, it's when you're writing a weekly show, you can't get caught up in that stuff because you'll never get your job done. You just won't.
How did Jeff losing power affect the company? How did the company change when Jeff lost power?
The company changed. It was no longer the same company. And I don't want to say it's when Jeff lost power. I want to say from Jeff losing power to Hulk and Eric coming in my opinion, it was two totally different companies.
In what aspect?
I think when Jeff was there, we were the underdog. And Jeff was really well liked by everybody. Don't get me wrong. Jeff's got his wrestler side to him,
right?
Where he could. So if you were a wrestler, you could hate Jeff, but 90% of the time, just with that with that southern accent and that big smile and that blonde hair, you love Jeff. You just genuinely love Jeff. So I think the attitude shifted from a locker room full of guys that were really working for this individual, wanting this individual to succeed, to now all of a sudden you had two guys come in and it seemed like overnight it switched to a situation that was now 100% business. And again, in my opinion, for me, at that point, a lot of the fun was taken out of it. And again, some of that obviously has to do with my relationship with Jeff, obviously. Him and I have always been very tight, so that had a lot to do with it. But for me, it was no longer the same company.